Hello, my dazzling friend. I know you want to know exactly what your eye shape is because you think if you know your eye shape, that's going to answer all your problems, but it's not. Yes, this video is going to tell you how to figure out what your eye shape is, but we got to go further than that. It's not good if you know what your eye shape is, but you don't know what the best eyeshadow and eyeliner techniques are for your eye shape. And that's why I made a free resource for you. If you go to the description box, there's a link, and that link is going to give you a guide that's going to tell you what the different eyeshadow techniques are, like halo, cut crease, etc., what those eye techniques do for the eye, does it make it bigger, wider, elongated, etc. And then from there, I'm going to tell you what eye shapes those techniques are best for. So you don't want to leave without that guide. It's going to be so important because then you're going to know, okay, a halo technique really works for me. And then if you want to look for inspiration, you can just go in and put in halo inspiration, halo makeup looks, and then you'll have a bunch to choose from. But I'm going to be honest. I will encourage you to try all the different looks anyways, even if it's not the best one for your eye shape, especially if you like the way it looks. I'm on that side of things. You have fun with makeup, you play around, you find the things you like, and then you experiment because along the way of experimenting, you might find something that you didn't know was gonna look amazing on you. All right, so let's get to the eye shapes so you can pair the eye techniques and have fun. So we're gonna start with Almond Eyes because for some reason, somebody said that Almond Eyes was the most beautiful eye shape that exists. I don't agree because I think all eye shapes are beautiful, but Almond Eyes, here we are. How do you know if you have almond eyes? Well, it's gonna be skinnier in the inner corner and wider in the outer corner. And now something I'm gonna do with all of the different eye shapes is I'm gonna say what celebrities have that eye shape, because similarly to how I told you can Google halo technique to see inspirational looks, if you know that you have almond eyes, you can just Google Rihanna or Beyonce makeup. So if you wanna see inspirational looks that are gonna be really good for almond eyes, Google Rihanna makeup looks. And especially with Fenty, you're gonna have so many to choose from. Next up, we have deep set eyes. Deep set eyes have minimal lid space with lots of space in the crease or minimal space from the crease to the brow with a prominent brow bone. So let's look at Danae Guerra. You can see she has deep set eyes with a lot of space from her lid up to her brow. There's a lot of space to fill in there. But then if you see Courtney Cox, she's the opposite. Her eyes are very deep set in minimal space because her brow bone is so prominent. So you can go both ways here. So you have Courtney Cox and Danae Guerra. Again, look up inspiration for them if you also have deep set eyes. But pay attention to see what kind of deep set eye you have. Do you lean more Courtney Cox or do you lean more Danae Guerra? Downturned eyes. Downturned eyes is when the outer corner hangs lower than the inner corner, as you can see here with the diagram, and then with Anne Hathaway and Britney Spears. But something I want to talk about here, we're going to talk about a little bit more after I go through the eye shapes, is let's look at Britney. Britney's eyes are not just downturned, they're also hooded. And we're going to talk about hooded in just a moment. They're also wide set, which we're also going to get to in a minute. So yes, you can have a multiple eye shape. You can have a hybrid, or as I like to say it, a tribrid eye shape. Yes, the tribrid is definitely a reference from Legacies. Okay, up here we have hooded eyes. Now there's a lot of speculation around hooded eyes and deep set eyes because they're very similar. Some people will say that Jennifer Lawrence has deep set eyes, while other people will say that her eyes are hooded. I would say that her eyes are hooded because if you look at her, the skin in the crease hangs over the eyelid. That's a sure way to know if you have hooded eyes. Blake Lively also has hooded eyes. And something that I want to point out that is prominent on both of these beautiful ladies is they have a white eyeliner in their waterline. That is a must-have product if you have hooded, deep set, or small eyes because this immediately makes your eyes look bigger. Next up, we have monolids. Monolids have no visible crease or lid. It's basically a smooth surface all the way through. Here we have Sandra Oh and Jamie Chung as an example. Monolids are also quite similar to hooded eyes, whereas a lot of the techniques can work because there isn't a visible crease and it is a lot of space between their lash line and their eyebrow, which brings us to, oh, we already talked about hooded eyes, just kidding. So I went back to hooded eyes for a second because you can see on Blake Lively, you don't see a visible crease. Same thing on Jamie Chung. If you go back to the monolid, you don't see a visible crease. But now let's look at Sandra Oh. There's a lot of space right there. And if you can see the way that her makeup is done, that's called contouring the eye. It's creating the illusion of a crease to help give the eye definition. So it looks more sculpted. Next up, we have prominent eyes, which also can be prominent deep set eyes. So prominent eyes are large and round with minimal space from the crease to the brow and a very deep crease. So deep set means that the eye socket is very deep into the eye. So if we look at Cher, super deep set, but also super prominent because that eyelid is large and round. And then you can see even on both of them, Cher and Nicole Richie, there's not a lot of space between the crease and the brow because the brow bone is so prominent, it pops out. Now we have upturned eyes, which is the opposite of downturned eyes. Upturned eyes, the outer corner is higher than the inner corner, like we see here on Kendall Jenner and Lucy Liu. And our last two eyes are wide set and close set. We have Brandy, who has wide set eyes, what basically means that the eyes are further apart than one eye. And then on the other side, we have Sarah Jessica Parker, close set eyes, where eyes are closer together than one eye. But even as we look right here on Sarah Jessica Parker, she has close set eyes, but she also has hooded eyes. If you just went through those slides with me and you're thinking, but Donna, none of them really look like me. I might have elements of one, but none of them are definitely me. You're not alone. With so many different people on the planet, it's natural that some are gonna have a hybrid or tribrid eye shape, which means you're gonna have elements of different ones. For example, like I said with Sarah Jessica Parker, her eyes are close set and also hooded. So if you think of close set and wide set, you can have that eye shape, but then on top of that, you're gonna have maybe a deep set, downturned, hooded, almond, etc. Brandy has wide set eyes, but she also has an almond wide set eye. And if you look at me, my eyes are a mix of hooded and deep set. So when I'm completely relaxed, and I have to talk monotone because I'm I have too much expressions when I get excited, but when I'm completely relaxed, my crease hangs over my lid. But then when I'm more relaxed and I'm talking animated and being myself, my eyes, you can see a little bit more of my lid. So I would say that they're deep set. However, give me 20 years, come back, this crease is definitely gonna be hanging over my lid and I'll be completely hooded. And this eye in general is more hooded than this one. That's also another story. So it's common that you're gonna have elements of each. Now, if you're going through this and you're like, oh yeah, my eye is a little bit downturned, but it also is hooded, which is common. Hooded and downturned are usually paired together. So are hooded and deep set. So are downturned and wide set, hence Brittany and Anne Hathaway. If we go back to that slide real quickly, you'll see that both of them are wide set and downturned. So when you get my guide to the different eyeshadow techniques, I'm gonna show you techniques that help complement those eye shapes. So for example, with downturned eyes, you're gonna go with more of a lifted technique because that's gonna lift up the outer corner and it's gonna go against pulling your eye down. So we're trying to do a little bit more lifting. Everyone wants a lifted look. But besides that, we might look at hooded eyes. With hooded eyes, we're not gonna do a lot of crazy deep eyeliner. You know, with close set eyes, you're not gonna wanna go dark in the inner corner because that also brings them together. And we're gonna go a lot more in details in that guide that I have in the description box below, so make sure you grab it before you leave this video because it's going to be a game changer for you. I hope you enjoy and I can't wait to hear what you think.